What's up, guys? Zeenigami here, and we've got all the details for 6+ Usopp, 6-star Usopp, and a lot of details for all the other characters in the Usopp Sugofest batch. What do the characters do? How good are they? Are they worth you doing polls on this upcoming Sugofest? Let's talk about that. Good Mythical Morning intro. Okay, guys, so Bandai has the official information about what 6+ and 6-star Usopp does. We have their full stats from, and all the characters, well, all the Usopps are working in the database. We don't have stats for all the rest of the characters like Raley, heracles'n, and Prona and stuff, but we do have their captain abilities and special abilities. Once their stats come out, we will have them working in the damage calculator, but until then, you can at least play with 6-star and 6+ Usopp. So, here's the artwork for 5-star Usopp, 6-star Usopp, and we'll get into 6-star Usopp first. So 6-star Usopp's captain ability is that he makes all regular orbs, so anything that's not a block, empty, or bother or a bomb orb, into beneficial orbs. So they count as matching orbs for your characters as if he's your captain. So you always will have matching orbs no matter what, unless the enemy either blanks your orbs, like Cabbage's captain ability, or Invasion Cabbage, his preemptive attack that makes you have no orbs. You can't make no orbs into matching orbs. Unless you have block orbs, unless you have bomb orbs, unless you have empty orbs, you will always have fully matching orbs. So that is pretty nifty. That frees up a spot on your team. You don't have to bring any orb manipulators on your team, and that lets you play with a lot of different things. So instead of bringing an orb manipulator on your team, you can bring another orb booster, another type booster, something like that. So since he is a dex shooter, let's say instead of bringing like a Law on a dex team, or instead of bringing a heracles'n on a shooter team, you can just use Usopp Captain and then use a second type booster, or an affinity booster, or a shooter type booster, or something like that, instead of using an orb manipulator. So that's pretty nifty. You can also, since you have everything counting as matching orbs, if you have a bunch of recovery orbs, you not only get the benefit of healing with a recovery orb that you hit a great, but you also have it working just like if it's a matching orb, just like Fujitora does. So that's pretty cool. And that works for all characters, and if you're at full health, he actually doesn't boost any attack. Below 50% health, he boosts your attack by 1.5 times. And below 30% health, the same range as Whitebeard, he boosts your attack by 1.75 times. A very, very small, a teensy tiny small attack boost, but that's the cost of consistency. So instead of having larger bursting turns, you're going to do a lot of very consistent damage with very consistent runs without having to rely on RNG for orbs or anything like that. His special ability. His special ability. His special ability is a 3-stage special. At stage 1, it's a 3-turn delay. At stage 3, it is a 5-turn delay. 5-turn delay. And boosts your chain by 0.3 for 4 turns. So that's the same kind of chain boost as Raid Boss Kizaru, but instead of 0.5 for 2 turns like Raid Boss Kizaru, it's 0.3 for 4 turns for Usopp. So that is a stupid good special ability to boost your chain and delay for 4 turns. Pretty great. So even if you don't want to use him as a captain, you're going to use him as a sub, absolutely. We have him on the database. We know what his special ability goes down to. Let me hide characters not in special. At stage 1 is going to go down to a 10 turns. So he works, once you max him out, he can use him basically exactly like Golden Pound Usopp once you max him out. 3-turn, 10 delay. So he's basically just a straight up upgrade to Golden Pound Usopp, because you can still use him stage 1, 3-turn delay every time. Stage 2 is delay for 4 turns and gets you 0.2, and stage 3 is delay for 5 turns and goes to 0.3. So it's literally just better than Golden Pound Usopp. You also get 5 sockets on him, so you don't have to have multiple Golden Pound Usopps. You can just have one God Usopp, have every single socket you want on him, have your damage reduction, your orb matching, your bind, your lock, your cooldown, your heal return. You don't get one. So don't take one of between. You don't need orb matching on him because he makes all orbs count as matching, right? So you get the damage reduction, cooldown reduction, bind, despair, heal return, And he's got 1,300 attack, so it's already double the attack of your Golden Pound Usopp. Stupid good sailor, stupid good crew member. That is a Golden Pound Usopp with a good attack value and insane sockets and insane special. It's kind of freaking ridiculous. And his 6+ evolution is confirmed. So there are a lot of people wondering about the green skull, if it's really going to be for Usopp, or is that an April Fool's joke? Unless this is still the April Fool's joke and they're really going ham on it, 6+ Usopp is going to be there. And 6+ Usopp actually fundamentally changes Usopp. This is the very interesting 6+ evolution. It's along the lines of 6+ Hancock, where 6+ Usopp is almost completely different from how you're going to use your 6-star Usopp. Now what 6+ Usopp does, you get a few better stats. This is actually wrong. If I refresh, it should go to level 99. That's just a mistake that they did. Let's see, can we get back up there? There we go, level 99. So 6+ Usopp's captain ability now is the same thing, but it only boosts shooter types. So whereas 6-star Usopp is a rainbow attack captain, just like Whitebeard is, and so you can use 6-star Usopp Whitebeard team, great. 6+ Usopp is actually only a shooter attack captain, so it's still 1.5 times below 50% and 1.75 times below 30%, but only for shooters now. So that pretty much limits you to which friend captains you're going to use him with. His special completely changes. His special ability cuts enemies' health by 10%, and if they have debuff protection or delay prevention, you can actually still delay them. So you can delay enemies even if they have debuff protection. It's ignore debuff protection for specials. That's stupid good. Now anything that has debuff protection, forget it. You still delay them for 1 turn. And if they do not have debuff protection, you delay them for 3 turns. So a regular fight, delay for 3 turns. Debuff protection, delay for 1 turn. And don't forget about that 10% health reduction. But the most exciting thing about 6+ Usopp, I mean that's the boring part of 6+ Usopp. The most exciting thing about 6+ Usopp is the extra part in his captain ability, this part right here. His captain ability automatically delays enemies by 1 turn every single stage. That's right, a captain ability that delays enemies every single turn. Now not every single stage. Now this is not every single turn. This is every single stage. As soon as you load into a stage, so let's say you're fighting a Coliseum, that means on stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Usopp will automatically delay enemies by 1 turn. Now this is a new type of delay. This is an attack turn increase and not a delay. Now what this means is that, for example, this is not Coliseum Hancock. For example, where are we? No, that's 6-star, 6+. Here, I think this is stage 1. Loaded in stage 1, and they're automatically, instead of being a 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, it's now 2, 3, 2. Oh no, here's the difference. Here's after the effect happens. So instead of being a 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, it's 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 4. So you get an extra turn without having to use any specials. But this is not delaying. That's a very important distinction to make. Since this is not a delay, you'll notice here in the screenshot that the enemies are not debuffed. They do not have the delay debuff. That does mean that any conditional attack boosters that work against delayed enemies would not be active, so you can't use that with, for example, the Dalmatian, who boosts your attack against delayed enemies. But that does still mean you can actually delay them. So even if you have 6-star Usopp Captain, or 6+ Usopp Captain, whenever he increases enemies' cooldowns, you can still use his special to delay him even after that. So on this stage against Blue Gilly, since Blue Gilly would normally be a 1-turn attack timer the first time you meet him, he automatically becomes a 2-turn attack timer. If you wanted to, they could have used Usopp special here and go through the debuff protection and turn Blue Gilly into a 3-turn attack timer. So what normally becomes a 1-turn attack every attack boss that has debuff protection so you can't delay him can now become a 3-turn attacking boss. That's pretty insane to just go from 1 turn that you cannot do anything about that to becoming 3 turns and just ignoring that debuff protection. pretty sick. Pretty sweet. This is going to be something that you're definitely going to see used on Zero Stamina Islands, because there are a lot of times on Zero Stamina Islands you really just want to delay like as often as you can. Max special 6+ Usopp is a 1-stage special. It's not multiple stages, and it's only a 16-turn timer. So unlike 6-star Usopp, which basically could be a better Golden Pound Usopp, your 6+ Usopp is going to be used alternatively to Golden Pound Usopp. If you want a shorter cooldown, use Golden Pound Usopp. If you want something that pierces through debuff protection and also cuts health like Stronghold Usopp, you want to use your 6+ Usopp. So this is one of them that you might actually want to keep. Not if you get 2 Usopps, you might want to keep 2 of them around. Use one 6-star and one 6+ if you have that. If you're so lucky to get 2 legendary Usopps. But here, if you go down on this page, there's more information about it. It's all Google Translate, so it's like really strange and off. They're talking about using a Nell in order to cut your health on purpose, using Usopp with a Whitebeard friend. These are just examples of stuff. Let's go into it. So that's basically what they do. Having an automatic delay on Usopp is amazing, or 6+ Usopp automatic delay is amazing. It's gonna make it so safe to stall through things, but it only works for shooters, which means it's really, really limiting who you want to use as a friend captain. So let's go into the rest of the batch, right? That's all just talking about 6-star and 6+ Usopp. The rest of the characters coming out in this Sugofest batch include Raley. Raley is a quick cerebral slasher. Raley actually gets to use his sword finally. His captain ability boosts the attack of quick characters by 2.5 times and their health by 1.2 times. After 4 perfects, he boosts the attack by 3 times instead. So he is a 2.5 times attack timer for quick characters, and then the last 2 characters get a 3-time attack boost. Quick character captains are you often just use like a Nell captain or something like Cabbage or Marco or something like that. But that's a weird thing about quick characters. Although he's a great quick captain, many times you might just want to use a Nell instead for lower damage, but much better consistency with the healing. His Sailor ability makes Strength, Int, and Dex orbs count as matching for him. So basically 4 out of 7 turns you'll have a matching orb on your Raley. That's pretty awesome. And his special ability makes him a killer sailor, a killer quick sub. Rob Lucci is no longer the best quick orb manipulator. Now it's Raley, because he makes all orbs, including block orbs, into quick orbs. So you're guaranteed to have fully quick orbs no matter what. Empty orbs, block orbs, no matter what, full quick orbs. Pretty great. Amazing quick sub for your quick teams. Duval is a Psy Slasher free spirit character. His captain ability reduces the cooldowns of Psy characters by 3 turns at the start of the fight, and also boosts the attack of Psy characters by 3 times if they have a Psy orb, but doesn't do anything if you do not have a Psy orb. His Sailor ability makes Int orbs count as matching for himself, and his special ability not only reduces damage taken by 50% for 1 turn, but also boosts the attack of Psy characters by 1.75 times for 1 turn. Now, he is probably going to have much better stats and impact out Usopp, so he's going to be an alternative Psy type booster to impact out Usopp. And having the 3 times orb matching captain ability isn't super useful. You could use him with like a Stronghold Shanks friend, but you're going to lose a lot of consistency since he doesn't boost any damage at all if you do not have a matching orb. So a good sub, not a very good captain. heracles'n is a strength shooter striker. His captain ability boosts the attack of strength characters by 2.5 and their health by 1.25, so that's pretty nice strength captain. Sailor ability boosts the hit points of strength characters by 150. Oh, Duval's captain ability actually reduces the cooldowns of all characters by 3 turns, not just side characters, so we have to change that. But that's still not a captain that you're going to be using very often, since he only boosts side characters if they have a matching orb. heracles'n's special ability cuts the health of all enemies by 20% and changes your right column characters into matching orbs if they are a shooter or a striker character. So you can use them on a shooter or a striker team. If you have him on the right side, he gives himself a matching orb, and other shooter or strikers on the right side. Pretty good. 3 guaranteed matching orbs if you have your team right, and cuts health by 20%. That's definitely gonna be something that sees play. Perona is an int shooter driven character. Her captain ability is like Kiro's, boosts the attack of characters with cost 30 or less by 2.25 and the recovery by 1.5. Something you don't see used very often, just because the 30 cost excludes a lot of sweet things like Coliseum and raid boss characters. It does include all the rare recruit characters and Fortnite characters, but doesn't give you as much utility as like Sengoku Captain does. Her Sailor ability boosts the attack of int characters by 50, and her special ability, however, very, very good. Just like her Fortnite version, reduces damage received by 90% for 1 turn. Also reduces the defense of all enemies by a certain percent by 1 turn, probably 80%, just like the Fortnite version. That's what we expect, but we don't know for sure yet. And she reduces the duration of enemy damage threshold and percent damage reduction for 2 turns. Percent damage reduction being the rainbow shield icon that reduces damage taken by a certain percent, and damage threshold being the one with the broken explosion that limits how much damage you can do per turn. So that part, that damage threshold and the percent damage reduction is going to be very, very useful for any team that isn't a 6-star Blackbeard Captain team. And since one important thing to note is that if you're not using 6-star Captain ability, you can actually benefit from that damage reduction of Perona. So that's pretty cool. It's basically you use her on not 6-star Blackbeard teams. Elizabeth, the sexiest one in the batch. Elizabeth is a Dex fighter free spirit character. Her attack boosts hit points recovery by a small amount, probably 1.2 or something like that, and boosts the attack of all characters by 2.5 after you hit strength, dex, and quick with at least either a good or a great or a perfect. So that's not the best captain ability. It's very similar to Raid Boss Ivankov, and going strength, dex, quick basically makes it like a gear 3 captain with a lot of limits on it. The Sailor ability restores her own special by 2 turns when rewinded, so anything that increases her special would go back down for 2 turns. And her special ability heals 13 times her recovery in health, adds 0.5 to the chain modifier, and reduces defense of all enemies to 0 for 1 turn. So that lets you kill stuff like Princess Turtle. Reducing enemy defense by 100% is only really useful against enemies with very high defense, but there are a lot of enemies with very high defense that you're going to find that incredibly useful for. That's something that you're definitely going to use on certain Coliseum stages that boost defense. Now remember boost defense also, if they have like a blue shield boost, this will set that defense to 0 and can be used against stuff like Princess Turtle. For most fights, defense is not going to matter much in your damage calculation, but high defense characters very useful, and a little bit of heal and chain boost too. And then last, 6+ Usopp. We already talked about him quite in length earlier, but let's go over him once again. Boost the attack of shooter character by 1.5 if health is above 50%, 1.75 if health is below 30%. Makes... Oh, this is I didn't include the... I actually forgot to include the turn increase there, so I need to add the turn increase special here. Makes all the core orbs count as beneficial, and at the start of every stage increases enemies' attack cooldowns by 1, which is a brand new thing. That captain ability actually forgot to include it there. Cuts enemies' health by 10% if enemies have delay prevention. Ignores delay prevention, can't talk, and delays all enemies by 1 turn, otherwise delay enemies by 3 turns. And regular 6-star Usopp is here too. Same thing, delay for 3, delay for 4, delay for 5. So let's go into some example teams, right? The batch is pretty good overall. None of these characters are bad per se. Usopp and 6-star Usopp and 6+ Usopp are both really weird captains. That's going to be very interesting to see what team to use them on. And you're basically trading large burst turns for a lot more consistency. Let's go to a 6+. Let's go through the team that they use in their example. This team right here in their example. So in this team, with Whitebeard and 6-star Usopp, Enel to drop your health and boost himself, and Van Ogre, Sabo to boost damage, and Don Chinjiao for an orb boost. Since you want to be below 30% health anyways for Whitebeard and Usopp captain abilities, Chinjiao's going to go great. Enel helps make sure you're low health. Remember that you're always going to have matching orbs. So that's one really, 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 really big thing about 6-star and 6+ Usopp, is that since you will always have matching orbs, you basically know exactly how much damage you do. Now, your damage is pretty low. It's only about 500, 600,000 damage per attack, but at least you know you're going to do 500, 600,000 damage per attack. Now compare that to a double Whitebeard team. If you're using a double Whitebeard team, that's basically as if you had no matching orbs on your team. That's almost the exact same damage, right? It's only a few 100,000 damage off. If you have one matching orb, then you actually would do more damage on this team to a Dex character. If you have one matching orb, that's more damage on this team to a Quick character. So the only time on a regular attack, the only time an Usopp Whitebeard captain is going to do more damage is if you do not have any matching orbs on a double Whitebeard team. So a double Whitebeard team has to have 0 matching orbs in order to do less damage than an Usopp Whitebeard team. An Usopp Whitebeard team is almost always going to do less damage on a regular attack. Now on your burst turns, things get even weirder. Since on a double 6+ Whitebeard team, you could use Whitebeard specials to manipulate orbs until you get a ton of matching orbs. So you can use 6+ Whitebeard as an orb manipulator himself. That's your orb manipulator right there, but let's just say you don't have an orb manipulator captain. If you're going to burst on this turn, you have to hope for orb luck in order to get a matching orb, because you don't have any orb manipulators, except for Whitebeard, but let's just pretend like you're just using 5-star Whitebeard, 6-star Whitebeard, not 6+. Just double 6-star Whitebeard. You didn't get lucky enough to get his skull. Double 6-star Whitebeard. There are no orb manipulators here. So you might not get any matching orbs. And even if you use Sabo special and Nell special, Chinjiao and Van Ogre aren't going to do anything. That's not going to help you. You might be just a little bit short. But if you have your Usopp, guaranteed matching orbs with your Usopp captain. And then you can have Chinjiao special on. You can have your Van Ogre special on. Whichever one you need, that might push you just enough damage. And you know you are going to have that much damage. You do not have to worry about orb manipulation. You don't have to worry about an enemy that shuffles orbs. You don't have to worry about an enemy that gives you all badly matching orb. You will always have matching orbs. So you're trading a lot of burst value for consistency. And that's a big thing about Usopp, is that it's not about bursting. His damage is not good. But it's about consistency. It's about knowing that you're always going to have matching orbs no matter what. And then it's Whitebeard, you don't want to get recovery orbs, so you can just hit those perfects. So it's okay. And then let's go into 6+ Usopp. Now 6+ Usopp gets a little more interesting whenever you combine him with like 6-star Ace. Since with 6+ Usopp, he only boosts shooters, using him with a 6-star Ace captain makes a lot of sense. Since Ace will now always boost attack by 3 times, so Ace basically becomes a Whitebeard captain. However, since Usopp requires you to be low health, normally when you start the fight, you're going to benefit from Ace's captain ability. If you use a Whitebeard ship, you can drop your health lower, but you're going to need to take a little bit of damage to actually get Usopp's 1.5 times attack boost. And then you can use like Ace special to help drop your health and make sure you're below 30% health. That's kind of weird goals on your team, to want to get below 30% health, but also get the extra health and attack boost from Ace compared to a Whitebeard. But let's say you have... Now you don't need any orb manipulators. You don't need a save a spot for 6-star Kizaru or heracles'n or use anything else. You don't need to use a Doflamingo to move your orbs. You always will have matching orbs. You can also... Oh yes, on the old 6-star Usopp, don't forget, old 6-star Usopp has a chain boost. 6+ Usopp does not have a chain boost anymore. So you can actually use Kizaru on a 6+ Usopp team. You can use all these specials, Binary World to stage 3 or Zephyr, Gladius to stage 2 for the 1.75 times affinity boost. You do a fair amount of damage. You don't need to use a special to lock your orbs anymore, since you're always going to have matching orbs every single turn no matter what. So that's a good bit of damage there. A good bit of damage with a lot of consistency. Now compare that much damage, you notice here 3.7, 3.8, 2.7, and then onwards. Compare that to like a double Ace team. Double strong Ace team. Double strong Ace is almost double the damage. Even if you have to lose a few matching orbs, you know you're going to have a matching orb for Kizaru. Let's lose a few matching orbs here. With only one special from Kizaru, you can use all the exact same specials to do the same amount of damage as the 6+ Ace. And 6+ Usopp. But if you get more damage, this team does even more damage, clearly. But you only need 1 or 2 orbs in order to do more damage than the 6+ Usopp. This is a very weird spot, that you only need maybe 1 or 2 matching orbs in order to make a regular team better than 6+ Usopp, but 6+ Usopp guarantees those matching orbs, so you know exactly what you're gonna do. And don't forget, so the takeaway of this is 6+ Usopp and Aokiji, another team you could use since Aokiji is still a shooter. The takeaway from this is that 6-star Usopp is not the best captain. 6-star Usopp isn't something I would use as a captain. But 6+ Usopp, his captain ability, most importantly, is that increase 1 turn every single time you get into a new stage. That's a guaranteed 7 extra turns of stalling on a raid boss, on a 7-turn raid boss. That's a guaranteed 7 extra turns of stalling. On a 5-turn Coliseum, that's a guaranteed 5 extra turns of stalling. You get a stall in stage 1, stall in stage 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's pretty good to be able to just get 5 extra turns of stalling just by using 6+ Usopp as a captain. So 6-star Usopp, amazing sub. Very, very good sub. Probably wouldn't use him as a captain. I would just use an orb manipulator and use him as a upgrade, a very good upgrade to Golden Pound Usopp. With double Golden Pound Usopp's attack, 5 sockets, great recovery, great health, and a special that is better than Golden Pound Usopp in basically every single way. 6-star Usopp is amazing replacement for Golden Pound Usopp. 6+ Usopp lets you ignore debuff prevention, increases cooldowns by 1 every single time. I need to add that right now, and still has a 3-turn delay if you need it. So very good Usopps, very good characters overall. Guys, good luck if you're doing Sugofest pulls. I've been Zeenigami. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, you can go to patreon.com/Zeenigami and subscribe, or go to twitch.tv/Zeenigami and watch us here live. And once again, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and y'all stay beautiful.